Freaka TV, Freak Up Studio, live. 2023 GSL Season 2.
Hey, I feel amazing.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another day here of the GSL Codas. Today we wrap up the round of 8, which after today is going to give us the round of 4 and the finals. We're right at the end here, even though it seems weird to say that with so many players left still. It's going to be an exciting day.
Yeah, only 2 days left of GSL this season. I mean, it's going to be high speed from here on out. So far, we have 2 Terrans advancing from Group A, but here in Group B of the round of 8, both Dark and Hero, the lone Protoss and lone Zerg, remaining in the tournament. I think they both have a good chance to advance from the group today.
It's been kind of a weird year here for StarCraft 2 and GSL. Historically, Zergs have had a lot of success, although the distribution of the 3 races in the game have been fairly even. Occasionally, we get more of one than the other. But this year, it's been Terran dominance, which is kind of strange. We didn't have that for literally a decade or more of GSL. We thought it might have been a fluke in Season 1 of this year, but then we got to Season 2, and I mean, there's a real possibility it could be 3 or 4 Terrans here going into the Final Fours for this season as well.
Yeah, I think it's actually very likely. And before we get more into that, of course, GSL donation. We are crowdfunding this thing. 100% of the proceeds go to supporting the players by buffing that prize pool up to $30,000 per season. Anything in excess of that amount will be rolled over into the next season of GSL. So far, I think we're close to $20,000, I want to say. So a lot of support coming in if you guys want to contribute. 19K in total so far. You can go to GSL's Patreon. You can also support on a Freaka TV's page of the GSL by donating Star Balloons. And you get some cool perks, too. You get replays. I think there's behind-the-scenes videos with the players and stuff like that as well. A lot of really good content. And I got to say, the games here in Season 2, I mean, we thought Season 1 was a treat, but Season 2, it feels like every single group has had some really good series.
It's been a lot of very cool games here. Ticket sales are going to go on starting tomorrow here on Friday. You do not want to miss Season 2 of the GSL. It is going to be at the Freak Up Studio. That's the studio that you are watching this broadcast at now. That is the studio that is at Samsung Station. And I would buy them fast. I know it's been a little bit light in the studio this time of the year. We're in monsoon season in Korea. And so there's been lots of flooding. It's also been insanely hot. Like, I put on a fresh set of clothes, walk down the street, and they're already ruined because it's that hot. I'm that sweaty.
Yeah.
So it's not been a great outdoor time here. That being said, finals do tend to fill up.
Yeah.
So if you're going to get a ticket, I wouldn't wait. I would buy it pretty quickly.
Yeah, those tickets, I believe, they go on sale if you're watching this live about 22 or so hours from now. I think it's about 5 or 6 p.m. KST tomorrow. So make sure you get those soon. Come down to the studio for the finals next week if you can make it. Before then, we have to decide what are the last 2 gamers advancing to the top 4 in a very stacked group. Dark, TY, Cure, and Hero. I mean, Cure stands out to me as the favorite of this group. He's been looking so solid, not just in GSL Season 1 this year, where he had a top 4 performance, but here in Season 2, he just looks unbeatable. And TY kind of upsetting quite a bit. He's just back from military service. He's barely getting his feet wet in competitive StarCraft 2 again, but here he is in the top 8 of a very difficult GSL.
Yeah, I've got a lot more questions than answers here with TY. I'm kind of feeling like Hero will get out here. He's in very good shape. It's certainly going to be a bummer if we don't have him advance. I guess the coolest narrative for the story of Season 2 would be to have a Zerg and a Protoss advance. I think that's a fair possibility. Dark, a guy you never want to count out, is going to be starting his match out today going up against TY. And, you know, Dark, he's really just a Zerg you never want to bet against.
I mean, you can see the stats speak for themselves on screen. Top 8 from Season 1 of GSL, top 8 Katowice, top 8 in ESL Masters Summer. This guy is just Captain Consistency. He is so good. Always in contention for a championship run. But TY, I mean, he is a former champion. This guy is looking to maybe start his comeback here in the GSL 2023.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming. Military service, when you go into that, you miss some of your prime years in gaming. And for a lot of players, generally they come back to competitive esports and they really struggle to get going again. Hero was one of the lone exceptions to that. But now TY coming back and almost immediately finding success. But as you said, a lot of questions about his play. We haven't really gotten a good chance of seeing too many of his matches. Even a lot of pro gamers in their interviews were saying they're surprised that he has made it this deep in the GSL. Let's see if he can keep it up as we're getting ready to start with Dark versus TY.
DKZ Gaming, Dark. Guangdong Freaks, TY.
I was wondering if we were going to do the intros when the,
Yeah.
the second SCV was sent out. It looks like the Korean casters opted to do it, so production went along with it. But this is going to be a double racks. I don't see a third SCV. No, there's not a third SCV out on the map here.
Yeah, just going to be 2 barracks. I think it's harder now because of Yun popularizing depot on low ground. It's a little bit more tricky whether you're going to call.
That's a good point.
It's a proxy barracks.
Oh, excellent.
From
Australia. Welcome.
Very excited TY fan in the audience, but yeah, cause I've gotten duped a couple times. I think you've seen me. I'll do my little proxy barrack stance, and then it's just somebody throwing down a depot on their ramp, and I'm like, oh
no,
you're just blocking off the natural expansion. Okay.
You know, I want to see how successful this is. I'm not too shocked TY's doing this. I think TY is a very good tournament player. Like, he's very good at planning and prepping to try to navigate a really difficult path set ahead of him with players who, I guess, you know, if he had to play against them, 100 games, I think he'd be on the losing side of all of them. But if you only got to beat somebody a couple times around, I think TY's kind of your guy. So he's got the proxy racks to set up. He's just out of vision. It was 6 lings made here. And so he's going to go right under. But, I mean, this is enough lings. That's actually more lings than I was expecting to have get hatched.
Yeah, it's because Dark is opting to go for a Roach Warren right now, Tasteless. He's playing very aggressively, so TY, maybe a little bit of an unlucky draw here against Dark's opening. We'll see what he's able to get done.
Yeah, you know, I'm not sure how this maths out. I don't think this is a very comfortable moment here. You know, the lings can basically run interference in between the rally points. We got a couple more Marines coming out, but, you know, Roaches, they're pretty good against slow Marines. You know, slow Marines are really never designed to actually fight Roaches. The lings are now going to go northbound, and we have 4 Roaches about to hatch, and I think basically the build order backfired. Basically, Dark wanted to go into Roach aggression really early on. TY had set his attack up to punish a Zerg that's going to be, I guess, more textbook and kind of like drone up and get a third base soon. And it's one of those moments where neither build was intended to interact with the other, but if both players do these respective builds, Dark comes out on top.
Yeah, now TY is going for a command center on the low ground. That factory only just now completing, and
you know, he never saw the Roach Warren.
No, he never saw it.
This.
He pulled back when he saw the 6 lings, and he's like, okay, there's no way that I'm actually going to be able to get the momentum needed to bunker rush the natural. So TY is still in the dark. He does not know these Roaches are coming across the map, and I think he's in for a very rude awakening. Because that command center, I feel like it almost definitely has to be canceled.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is possibly just fatal here. I don't know how you really recover. There's still not a bunker out. It's very easy to just kind of pressure the entrance. The Marines, you know, they don't have great range either. I mean, obviously Roaches don't either, but you know, the Roaches and Ravagers are just better units than SCVs and Marines in this phase of the game. A Cyclone's going to come out. I think you can actually just, like, basically almost kill it as it pops out. Well, I guess not. I mean, it just slides right by like that.
Yeah, just going for the guaranteed damage on the SCVs and the Marines. So this isn't going to be the kind of play that just wins the game outright. I think Dark actually killed his own Roach there. But that's so much economic damage done. The command center on the low ground was canceled and then restarted. 11 SCVs fell. The gambit for TY going for this 2 barracks aggression completely fell flat on its face.
So that was a funny start because you know, I kind of got carried away with like, oh yeah, this build beats that build. And I'm like, oh, actually, TY doesn't even know what build he's playing against. He just saw the lings. So his plan B backfired as well. You don't see many pro games where you have two players and one guy has had everything backfire twice, you know, in under the first 5 minutes, and there's any chance of winning. But let's see what TY can do.
Yeah, the worker counts just kind of tell the tale right now. 37 drones to 20 SCVs. With that command center in the main base only just now completing. TY with a Cyclone should be able to cause some problems on dark side of the map, but really he's just kind of free to macro and do what he wants, especially with Zergling speed completing, excuse me. As TY, I'm trying to think of a possible path back to contention for him in this game, and I really just don't see a way. And Dark is not the kind of player that's just going to let that lead
he tends
shrink.
to not knock it off you once he's on top and beating you down. He's morphing these Ravagers, and you know, again, this is it's possible Terran survives just because he doesn't have a natural, but then when I say he doesn't have a natural, you kind of realize why this game is already over, right?
Yeah, Dark is very soon going to be on 3 hatcheries, and I mean, even just being in the main base of CY, I don't think he holds this. It's going to be very challenging. There still is only the one Cyclone, not even a siege tank underway. It's just 2 Widow Mines in production here as the Biles can just slowly rain down on basically all these structures, and TY is going to get supply blocked. He's going to be losing this bunker. Stim does complete.
Yeah, but he can just avoid that, or not, I guess. Just attack right in. You know, the issue is Stim will make you stronger for a little bit, but if you're not able to heal, eventually these Marines get more and more brittle. And what Dark is doing is he's just making more and more Zerglings and letting them tank the damage while the Ravagers can just keep getting value with the Corrosive Bile and everything else.
Yeah, and the Widow Mines aren't even particularly effective here just because of the Biles, and also the Lings flooding in on the already injured Marines means that any connections that actually happen, you just have the splash damage hitting your units here as TY, and Dark right now sitting on 3 bases, almost 40 drones. This attack is thwarted for now, but TY still needs to secure the natural expansion. Dark knows this. He's just going to keep attacking.
Yeah, I mean, you know, in one way it can look like TY is kind of barely holding on, but in another way it's like actually TY is just getting further and further underwater right now. And that's going to be a GG, a good total domination here from Dark. I will chalk some of that up to like elected build orders. You did get the bad hand. Whenever you do a proxy like that, the risk is involved. But man, when the Roaches got there, that really was what, you know, put a stake through TY's heart.
Yeah, just 5 Roaches. And the fact that TY moved back so early with the Marines from the 2 barracks as well, he didn't get the scout. Those Roaches until they were up his ramp and then causing so many problems. Was able to get the Cyclone out, but lost, what, like 11 SCVs or something to that effect, and had a canceled command center that he built on the low ground. Just completely countered build order-wise there by Dark. As you know, we talk about TY being a good preparation player, but so is Dark here. There's a reason why he's always in contention to win whatever tournament he enters. He's so smart at planning a best of X series.
All right, guys, New Humanity Game 2, let's go.
2023 GSL Season 2. DKZ Gaming, Dark. Guangdong Freaks, TY.
So much support for TY from the audience today.
I mean, he's a guy to admire, right? He's a really, you know, he's a gifted player, but he's also a very cool, collected, charismatic guy. It's why they were so excited to get him as a caster role here, you know. When it comes to pro gamers, it's kind of funny. It does seem like you get every type of personality.
Yeah.
I feel like with the pros I know, you get the full range, right? You get the very social kind, you get the anti-social kind. You know, for TY, he's really on that other end here. By the way, good to see all you guys in the audience. So happy to have everybody down here. And again, everybody, the finals is going to be 1 week from today. It's going to be in this venue, and tickets go on sale tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Yeah, finals also starting a little bit earlier than usual because we will have the semifinals and the finals on the same day. 6 p.m. KST start time as opposed to 6:30. And Dark is going for a Roach again, Tasteless. He's not messing around.
Well, I think he just wants to be very on top of whatever TY is going to do. Sometimes the best way to counter a weird game is to be not like all in aggressive, but just, you know, have some kind of a rush you start the game out with. It could kind of sort out a lot of other weird things the other player could do. You know, it's really fun to also play where you're going to go for like that command center first play TVC that we saw so often, and all these other styles that let you, you know, kind of cheat your way through the early game into a comfortable spot in the mid game. But then what Dark kind of does, and I think one of the reasons why he's doing it is because TY is very good at planning. He's kind of known as being really strategically gifted. He's able to talk about all the matchups in the game so well when he casts here at GSL. But yeah, you just kind of get in their face, and a lot of times that'll thwart a lot of the stuff they're going to try to do. Now, again, he doesn't see the Roach yet.
Yeah, Dark
That's why they're parked back there on the ramp.
Exactly. He's even parking them right on top of that ramp, just trying to buy any extra time he can where TY doesn't know exactly what he's planning. And it's a 3cc opening here for TY. Finally, he does see the Roaches. Bunker immediately thrown down here in the main base. And that factory, it's only just now completing, but I don't know what add-on he's actually building on that barracks. It might be a reactor, which means that he's going to be even slower getting those, you know, high power units out, like a Cyclone or a Siege Tank that he wants to use to actually defend against this rush.
Yeah, I mean, this is about as uncomfortable as it can be here for TY. I don't know if this game is going to mirror a lot of the last game, but like 3 command centers, you're really not doing a lot with it, especially if the second command center is forced to lift off and go in the main, which is what it seems like is going to happen over here.
Yeah, Overlord coming in, spotting. Oh, actually snipes the SCV with that bile. Very well played there by Dark. As TY is really scrambling to try to get that Overlord, but these biles are so good.
He's like doing trick shots with the biles. What's going on here?
It's an NBA exhibition.
I know, what is happening?
It's like the Steph Curry of biles.
what is going on with these biles?
Well, TY...
They're not supposed to hit movable units. He's going to get that depot too here. I guess that does not actually supply block him.
No, luckily the 3rd command center just finished, so TY does have enough supply.
Okay, not bad. He gets the Overlord. That's annoying. But
I feel like a lot of damage was done, though. You know, the orbital didn't have to live from the natural expansion, but multiple SCVs went down. I think it was 2 or 3 depots got either killed or canceled as well. And there's still some potential for damage here coming out of Dark. You know, he's still sitting right outside of the natural expansion of TY despite, you know, macroing back at home. He's taking a 3rd base, working on that drone count, and there's a very good read on exactly what TY's setup is.
I mean, this is probably the best value you could try to get with the remaining Roaches and Ravagers. You can see why Cyclones are a very handy unit to have in this. They can basically abuse the speed and range they have to where they can always win the fight against stuff like this.
Especially defensively when you can, you know, kite back and just use the vision from whatever units you have in front or the buildings.
Yeah, repair it with SCVs and everything and reinforce with more stuff coming out of the factories. It's 2 more barracks. I almost jumped the gun there. I'm like, and he's making 2 more factories for Max States.
We casted too many Gumio games.
I'm like, oh, now it's exciting that he's doing this. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to go for infantry. That's outside the meta. So, yeah, I mean, let's see if he can get in there and do some real damage and create some opportunities. Dark did lose some Roaches and Ravagers. He has been pretty good about, you know, just cranking out drones. But, you know, TY is in a game of catch-up here with SCVs as well. I like the Link counterattack, by the way.
Yeah, Ling's very good right here. Actually going to maybe go for a surround on one of these Cyclones. Dark trying to get it really hard here. Might get the one in the front. So low on HP, finally does take it out. So I really wanted to take down those rocks in the middle of the map and give himself a little bit more breathing room.
Okay, he's laid out some tumors here. He's going to keep trying to stretch out and actually go towards that 4th base area at the very top. So the layout that Dark has, you know, it's kind of hard for Terran to push any of these spots. But, you know, that time is going to be coming pretty soon. This is a very quick fourth base.
That's a fast fourth base. Creep spread starting to extend through the middle as well, especially outside of that natural expansion. All these upgrades now coming in for Dark too, is both players just kind of powering up with the economies that they've got. TY already went for a really passive play with that 3-orbital command opening. And behind that as well, you know, the fact that Dark came in with those roaches and was able to get so much damage done, killing depots, stunting your growth, killing SCVs, delaying mining in the natural expansion. It slowed TY down even further, so he doesn't really have a lot of opportunity to get too much damage done on Dark's side of the map, and that's allowing Dark basically free reign to kind of develop the way that he wants to. It looks like the commitment from Dark is actually going to be way more roaches. 14, in fact, in production. Roach speed also about to complete. Range attacks and armor also underway as well.
And so it's going to be time for that first drop to try to come out on the map. You know, I mean, the creep is over towards where the fourth base is. He may organically just fly over that fourth base, trying to kind of swoop up above the third. But I don't know how much he's going to be able to get done here. By the way, the roaches are going to come out right away here, and he's going to have to pick up the rest of these Marines. In fact, a little bit slow there by TY reaction-wise. 1-1 going to finish up here for the Zerg. And I'm wondering, you know, if Dark, it's been kind of a quiet game after the initial attack, right? I'm wondering if he's actually almost too big to fail already. Like the 163 supply to 115, the late third base from the Terran along with the early fourth base for the Zerg.
He's gearing up for a really big attack, Tasteless. He's been sitting just under 70 drones for the past couple of minutes, and you know, now with full Link production underway and the roaches coming in on both the top and the left side, the Biles are going to try and connect not only on these bunkers, but also on these siege tanks as the first one does go down. Pretty favorable trades here for TY to start things off, but the economy of Dark is just so good. You got to think that once these reinforcements come in, it's going to be very difficult for TY to hold on. And the creep spread as well. It's so close to this third base, makes the reinforcements arrive even more quickly than otherwise they would.
Yeah, I mean, the bunker goes down. I think that tank is well enough placed. It's not going to be easy for the Zerg to kind of play the range game, but there's so many roaches and ravagers. There's just not enough Marines and Marauders to fight this head on. They have to rely on tank shots. I guess the tanks are pretty far back. I don't know if it would be a bad idea to start to try to use those Biles and just start hammering the command center itself.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Maybe force that to lift off, but for now it seems like Dark is going to focus instead on just the Bio Ball, and you know, with a Ravager count as high as it is in the double digits, you actually have a lot of flexibility as Zerg to really just kind of spray those down in a pattern that's very hard to dodge. You don't just have to fixate on one position with those Biles. And now TY coming into the main base with a couple Liberators, going to try and take some pressure off by doing harassment of his own, but Dark is still pumping roaches and lings.
I mean, another attack's going to come down. Zerg's maxed out, which means you want to just start to trade out at this point in time. He's going to come around from the bottom, and I like that. If you can get close enough to bile down the tanks. Okay, this is probably actually going to be the killing blow.
I mean, it's just so much.
Yeah, I mean, wow, Dark is just on another level. And I do think that TY did have some kind of unfortunate build order interactions. You don't normally say that for a whole best of 3, but this game, I mean, I don't know if it was planning or fortune, but Dark really coming out looking great.
Yeah, I mean, Dark's just been riding the momentum from his early start quite well. Actually, those Biles connected there with the corner of the CC, so
he might be able to kill it.
Yeah, the next Biles is going to be a lot of damage coming in. Only 400 HP.
Can repair.
It's gone.
I also want to have my 3D glasses on there. It looked like it was going to come right out of the screen when it got blown up. I mean, I think this is over, guys. Dark looking very, very scary. Terrence might be doing well in this GSL, but in this series so far, as Dark, it's not been a problem. It looks like he's going to be going on to the winner's match. As he spills into the main, there is a drop happening inside of Dark's main, but I don't think it is relevant. When you compare it to what is happening at the natural and main here in TY's base, as the rest of the few workers that he has are being wiped out. And eventually, Zerg can just muster enough stuff out of the hatcheries to kind of clean this up.
Yeah, you got to think the reinforcements here for Dark are going to be enough to eventually clean this up with even more roaches in production. This drop already thinned out quite heavily as the attack is continuing in the natural expansion here for TY. He will eventually be able to repel it with a pure Marauder army. But it just feels like it's been too much damage. The third command center went down. TY now sitting at 21 SCVs in total. He did get a lot of work kills on Dark's side of the map, but Dark, even after losing his layers on a 4-base economy.
I mean, this is rough, man.
So
a lot
many
more
Ravagers. Holy crap.
It's funny because Zerk doesn't have to tech out of this. You know what I mean? You're so ahead that you could just come in and flatten the Terran over and over and over. And so we've got TY at 80 supply, 21 workers. He's given it his all. But, you know, at the end of the day, the economic machine looks like that was, I thought it was going to be a fake for a second. Like pretending he was going to drop to maybe make him run back.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's going for a full base trade, basically. I mean, it's a gambit, but it might be his best bet is to try to hold the main base.
All right, he's going to nuke the command center.
Oh, man. TY's back on 1 CC. It's a very big drop that he has going on over here at Dark Space. The new layer, the second layer is almost definitely going to go down.
Yeah.
But again, TY being on literally 1 command center, now floating it down into the natural expansion, has 0 mining. This drop will eventually get cleaned up.
Oh, my God.
There's just so many Ravagers on the field right now. 16 Ravagers.
Uh-oh.
The counterattacks for TY, I mean, they're very good. It just feels like, I mean, Dark's still sitting at max despite all of the sustained damage back at home.
Yeah, it's remarkable to see what he can do. It makes me wonder what would have happened if TY could have gotten into an ordinary game, but, you know, he's just not really able to, even though he is getting a lot of damage done, it's not going to be something that's going to balance this out. We see another attack coming down here. I don't know what else is at home to defend, but we know a lot of, you know, what TY was doing was kind of throwing everything to the wall and seeing what sticks. And, you know, when you throw out that many units, you don't have anything to defend at home, so I might have called it prematurely, but I think the game is still going in that direction regardless. I think this is about to end here as another
0 CCs.
Yeah, no command centers.
Yeah.
GG. All right, Dark wins 2-0.
It's a valiant effort by TY, man.
Yeah.
He was winning skirmishes all over the map, but he just had all the momentum stolen from him right from the get-go, it felt like, in both games that series.
Good builds here from Dark. I mean, he kind of got out ahead of any tricky stuff that TY might have been able to do. I mean, when you go for a proxy Rax, and your opponent's already hatching 6 slings to put pressure on and going into roaches, you're in trouble. So, I mean, TY, I think his other games won't look like that today, but that's kind of a bit of a parable about, you know, why you want to open in certain ways and what to watch out for and why not all builds are created equally. Anyways, up next, guys, Cure vs. Hero. We will be right back after this short break.